So let's start with incidental characters. What is the incidental character? Of course, an incidental character are all the characters that are used briefly in an episode or in the background. So for instance, here's an example from American Dad of waiters and waitresses that have been drawn over the years and added to the stockpile. The character designer's main job is to provide all the incidental characters for every episode. Main characters have already been designed, and so you're going to be asked for, if the character goes to a restaurant, there may have to be a chef, a maitre d', other patrons, other diners, waiters, waitresses, all the other characters that will have to go into fleshing out the show. And there can be lots of them. This is, for instance, a lot of the female characters that were done on American Dad. And some episodes can have over 100 incidental characters per episode. And so being able to come up with a variety of characters and make them look interesting and different and like real people, but not so much so that they take the focus off of the main character is going to be one of the most important things that you can do. In order to do that, in your portfolio, I would suggest that in addition to having some fun characters that you've designed, also include a page where you might have 4 nurses or 3 construction workers. Make sure that they are multiple. Don't just draw a nurse or a construction worker, but draw several of them to show that you can draw a variety of characters that all say the same occupation. It shows that you understand, first of all, that creating incidentals is a big part of your job and that you can do it. You'll want those designs to look like they belong to certain shows. Now, just because they're background characters and that they should not be so unique that they take attention away from the main characters or the action that's happening in the foreground, does not mean that the characters shouldn't be special in their own way. For example, here is a character that our character designer did for the show that I'm directing, and she was an incidental character called Deep Sea Debbie. She was on a kid's show, and she was described simply as a woman in a deep diver's suit. And while he accomplished that perfectly, it's some of the small touches, patches on the suit and on the air tube, the starfish stuck to the helmet with his eyes askew. These are the little things that make this character still specific without drawing so much attention that it distracts from whatever the writing is happening in the episode. So this is a good example. Here's another one that our lead character designer did of Disneyland park goers. So again, he was charged with just designing some families that you would see at Disneyland. And again, having the characters, one with the baby worn on his chest, the character with the fanny pack and the sunglasses, a fanny pack again, the sandals. These are all make the characters different enough from each other, but not so special that it distracts from them. I especially loved how this woman is wearing layers because she knew she was going to be in the park all day. So she has a layer of a jacket for later on when it gets cold. So these are a lot of the little things you want to use to make your characters interesting and unique without being so over the top that they distract. So this is a very important part for incidental characters. And the way that you figure out a lot of your incidental characters is make up a little story about them real quick, so that when you're designing a character, you're not just designing a bunch of cookie cutter waiters or cookie cutter construction workers. You want each one to have something specific about them. Here's an example from an episode of Paradise PD I was directing where Dusty becomes a Hollywood executive. And in the script, it called for him to be dressed in a yoga outfit. But because he was a Hollywood executive, he wasn't actually doing yoga. He was just in this fancy outfit to give the appearance that he does it so that he can fit in with the other executives. The first design that came back from my character designer, this one here, sort of missed the point where they designed him in a yoga outfit that was very much like an incidental character. Very plain, nothing special about it. But in order to work with the script requirements, he had to be performing that he goes to yoga even though he doesn't. So I sent the designer back these examples of some expensive looking yoga outfits and how that might be translated. And then his final design, of course, just nailed it as far as being over the top and funny to look at and adhering to specifically what the character was. So understand, getting your character, all character design is going from the general construction worker to specific, this particular foreman, let's say. And so all of your character designs want to go from general to specific. Has this character just had a bad day? Does this character love their job or hate their job? These are little things that give the character just enough personality that they can stand out without being overwhelming. So these are some very important things about incidental characters. Once again, don't just show what you have done, show what you can do. Show that you can design multiple characters in a variety of styles. Show that you can design multiple types of characters, 5 doctors, 3 lawyers, something that shows that you know what the job is and can accomplish that. There's a story I want to tell. Once I was up for a character design job long time ago at this studio that doesn't even exist anymore, and they were doing a show about pigs. I didn't know that before I walked in, but I came in and the person opened up my portfolio. This is a long time ago. We had, physical portfolios, and he just flipped through it real fast. He goes, "Well, I don't see a pig in your portfolio, so never mind." And so don't get frustrated with how crazy this industry can be. But something you can also do to better your chances is to draw animals and people and science fiction and kids and a variety of characters. Draw all the time so that when you hear about a show, maybe it's advertising, we have a new primetime sitcom on Fox. Well, primetime sitcom on Fox means a family sitcom based around a particular type of family. If then in your portfolio, you can put together a bunch of designs you've already done that looks like a family and send it in, you're giving yourselves better chances to be able to get that job if you're catering to exactly what they're looking for. And knowing what they're looking for is a big part of the research and going through the things that you'll need to do to get those jobs. So incidental characters, number one thing, most of your job, I'd say at least 60% of the job of character designers coming up with these incidental characters. And in all the portfolios I've looked at, very seldom do I ever see somebody put a bunch of incidental characters in their portfolio, even though that's the job. Have a portfolio where you have your wonderful designs and your best drawings, but also have a page dedicated to showing that you can draw 5 lawyers or 5 construction workers or a variety of characters like that. Also show that you can draw in different styles. By demonstrating that you know what the job is and can do it, that's what everybody's looking for. They're looking for somebody who can jump in and start right away.